Welcome, 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 everyone. Happy Friday. It's Career Happy Hour. That's the hashtag we're using now. Career Happy Hour here on LinkedIn, YouTube, Periscope, and Facebook in my group. So please, if you have any questions at all, this is free career coaching for you. You can leave any questions you want over in the chat box, regardless of which platform you are currently on. I had some things come up this week that I want to discuss with you, and then, give you a little bit of education, some training here of something that I did this week that I thought was really useful, seeing as how it was my birthday last Sunday. Thank you to all those of you who actually wished me a happy birthday. I do appreciate that. It doesn't go unnoticed. So that's actually the topic of today's live stream is anyone noticing me? Sometimes in job search, we feel like we're in a box and we're kind of at arm's length from hiring teams, and we feel separated, segregated almost, like something's wrong with us. Well, there's nothing wrong with you. These feelings are normal when you're isolated. But it's a valid concern. Is anybody noticing me? And I will tell you right now, I'm noticing you. You're here right now, and I see you. I also want to hear you. So if you have questions, put them in the chat box. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have about career, marketing, planning, resume, LinkedIn profile, interviewing, whatever it takes. I'm here to answer your questions. So yes, I am noticing you. So give me a second here, and I'm going to get everything. Hi, Thero. Good to see you. Happy to have you here today. Go ahead and put any questions you have in the chat, and we're going to get to our presentation here in just a second. So I was mentioning that I actually did have a birthday on Sunday. I won't tell you which birthday it was, but it was, one plus a major milestone. I'll put it that way. And there were several people on LinkedIn that sent me a message saying, happy birthday, congratulations. And that's perfectly normal. I get those all the time where, people are wishing me happy birthday. In fact, sometimes that's the only time that I see in their history that they've actually messaged me. So that's not uncommon, that you're going to run into people that the only time they reach out to you is on your birthday. That's not a bad thing. It's just reality. And so I decided to do something different. And we're going to go into how to leverage the notification tab today to a little bit more refined extent. So welcome, everyone. If you're just joining us, please let me know where you're joining from and put any questions you have about career in the chat. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. So here's the approach that I took, okay? These people sent me a happy birthday message, some of them using what I'd refer to as the lazy text here on LinkedIn. LinkedIn, when you congratulate somebody on a job anniversary or a promotion, or they started a new job, or they're going back to school, or it's their birthday, LinkedIn provides you what I would refer to as lazy text. They provide you these little snippets of text that I suggest you do not use. Do not be that person that does the bare minimum. Go the extra mile. And it doesn't have to be a whole mile. Let's put it that way. Go the extra mile and provide some value to the other person rather than just hitting, hey, happy birthday, send message. So what I did is I actually, and I won't take full credit for this, but I didn't realize, I'm sure you guys recognize that the mobile device for LinkedIn is a lot different experience than what you get on the desktop computer, okay? So I found out, and I didn't know this, I knew you could upload videos to the message platform here on LinkedIn. What I didn't know is you could actually record a video on your mobile device and then have that video actually sent to that person. Okay, so that's what I did. For virtually everybody that sent me happy birthday, I held up the camera and I said, hey, thank you so much for the birthday wishes. And I said their name, Jerry or Janice or Bob or whoever it was. I do appreciate you being an active member of my network and noticing me. I just wanted you to know I'm noticing you. So that's how we connect with people in this age, is we need to go the extra mile. Now, if you're not comfortable doing the video, fine. There's also a way for you to record your own voice. So it doesn't have to be video. There's a voice recorder there on the mobile device as well. And, if you want me to show you that on a session or to do a tutorial on that, I'm happy to post something like that later on. That's not what these live videos are for. They're for you, actually. I'm here for you to answer any questions that you might have. Okay? Let's see. Laura, thank you for the question. She says, I keep getting told I'm overqualified when I apply for jobs. Let's talk about that for a second. Let's first of all take the advice based on who's giving it. Often when we apply for jobs, those jobs go into an applicant tracking software, and there are certain knockout criteria established. And if you overshoot that job description, yes, you're going to be determined as overqualified. I encourage everybody, if you're going to rely just on the applicant tracking process, that you right size your resume, meaning do not overshoot the qualification requirements. I will actually, here, let me grab it. There was an article that I found actually really interesting. Let me go ahead and put that in the chat here on LinkedIn and also on YouTube. Thank you, friends. And what's in this article? Well, they established that people that have, for men, it's funny, it's different for women, but for men, they were getting interviews at 50% match. 50%. That means one of two things. You're either shooting too low or you're overshooting the qualifications of that post, okay? So the first thing I'd recommend is shoot higher. The second thing I'd recommend is right size your applications, okay? And what this showed is people with 50% match were getting interviews at the same rate as people with 85, 90% match. What does that mean? That means people over 90% actually got lower rate of interviews than any of those other groups. Okay, because here's the thing. Hiring teams, they want to hire the right candidate. Yes, but they also want to know that when they hire this person, they don't have to go do it again. If I hire somebody that's 100% or better qualified, they might be bored. They might want too much money. They're not saying you're overqualified. They're saying something else. And so that's the first thing. Second thing is, let's not overlook the value of an internal champion. If you have a hiring manager or a peer, somebody that you have trust with and has the ear of the hiring manager, that's going to put you in, at least in the sandbox or the ballpark of getting that interview. So please leverage your network. Reach out to me. I'm happy to introduce you to anybody, honestly. If it's going to help you get hired, I'm willing to do that. So if you're here today and there's a handful of people on the stream, hey, just say, hey, I see in your network you're connected to this person. Would you introduce me? Certainly, I'd like to know what the purpose of that introduction is. If it's strictly for the purpose of, hey, I applied for a job, yay me, look at me, then I'm probably not going to do that. If you said, I'd really like to talk to this person and it looks like you're in project management, right? And if I'm in project management and I want to talk to other project managers about what they're doing with a common problem, right? How are you tracking deliverables, right? What software are you using to make that happen? How do you guys know when a project's going into the red? What best practices have you established, right? So now I'm coming in with a strategic conversation of significance, not only to me, but to them. And you can do that if looks like you're a PMP as well. PMI is a great place to go for that. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the birthday wishes, Kunal. I appreciate that. Yeah, and then I would encourage you, Laura, see, here's the other thing. Keep swinging, all right? I just finished, I think about a year ago, a book. Who is it? Get in the Game. Cal Ripken. I encourage you, please, grab a book by Cal Ripken called Get in the Game. The guy did something almost like 6,000 consecutive starts in Major League Baseball. I don't know that anybody will ever cross that barrier again. That's a lot of consecutive. That's like So imagine that. How many people in the Hall of Fame of baseball hit 1,000? Zero. Nobody's hitting 1,000. In fact, the guy that is in there with the lowest batting average, I think, is like 220 or 230. He actually had a 98% fielding percentage as a catcher. So he wasn't in the Hall of Fame because he could hit the baseball. He was a defensive person. So lean into your strengths, leverage your network. If you need help with interview, I'm happy to help you with interview. I have a service to do that. If you're interested, just go to my website. There's type in interview intensive. I have a 90-minute session that's available if you're interested. We can talk through strategies. I don't know if we've had a conversation or not yet, Laura, so please go ahead and do that. Any other questions out there? Go ahead and leave them in the chat. So back to our conversation today. So the notifications tab, there is in LinkedIn, whether you're on the mobile device, I've got that here, or you're on the desktop, there's a little bell icon. It's the notifications tab. And typically what you'll get notified there for is birthdays, job changes, anniversaries, promotions, etc. And I encourage you to respond to those strictly on the mobile device. Okay? Why? Because it gives you the opportunity to do the video piece, to give a more, how would you say it, personalized message. Yes, you can recognize them on the post on their profile, right? Leave them a message, but I would send them a personal message saying, hey, and it doesn't take long, all right? It takes just a couple of seconds to hold your phone up, say something in your own voice, and wish them well in their search or their efforts, okay? It doesn't take much time at all, and it's super easy. So that's that side. The other thing is Job Seekers Radio. Oh, that's my alarm system. Sorry, folks. Somebody's beeping their horn outside. So anyways, hang on a second. Let me go yell at my dog. My apologies on that one. So the podcast. Here's the thing with the podcast. I've got an episode that just came out this week, and it's how to know what job to apply for. The other one is that I'm going to release this next Wednesday is what to do when you can't find full-time work. And this is one of those things where people have a situation where they're maybe working many different jobs and just can't find anything. So that's just the reality of the situation. And Scott and I have talked through a number of these things together, and we'd appreciate you visiting jobseekersradio.com. That's in the message section of the broadcast today. Okay, so I'm actually going to try something new here today. I'm going to try to actually go into my, let's see if I can do this. Go into my phone and see if I can show you exactly what I did when I did this. So I'm going to actually share my phone here and see if this works. And so what I'll do is I'll actually show you how to do this. Because sometimes it's not clear to people how this is supposed to work. All right. So hang on a sec. I'm getting there. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Darn it. Okay, come on. There we go. All right. Everybody, there we go. Okay, let me know if you see my phone. Hopefully it's over there. Okay, so I'm going to go into LinkedIn now, and I'm going to show you exactly what I do when I get into this kind of situation, okay? And so hopefully you can see that. It might not be big enough. I'm not sure if I can make that bigger, but bear with me there. I'm going to go into the notification bell, which is right at the bottom here, if you see it. And I'm going to click the bell. And that's going to take me, you can see we're live right now. That's funny. So the live recording is there. Good, excellent. I'm glad you can see that. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm going to scroll down this list, and I'm going to see something that requires some response. Okay, so I'm just scrolling down until I see congratulate Curtis Ford for starting a new position as Global Associate Merchant. Okay, so I think the first thing we ought to do whenever we do these kind of things is actually view the person's profile. I think you're doing them a service by letting them know, hey, I looked at your profile. I see you're now working in some capacity at Nike. And so I'm just going to go down the profile and look at it really quickly. I've done them an honor by actually looking at their profile. Okay. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to say, okay, I want to say congratulations. So I'm going to click say congratulations. That's going to open a new message. All right. Now you see the lazy text there. I think you all see that, right? There's some lazy text on that section. Where'd it go? Okay, it crapped out on me. I don't know why it did that. Sorry about that. It's a service called Reflector, and so for whatever reason, it disappeared. Okay, I think we're back. Sorry about that. Right in the middle of the tutorial, it just kind of crapped out on me. My apologies. Okay, so now I'm in Curtis Ford's thing. And you can see here, LinkedIn has put in automatically some information there. I don't want that. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all of that text, delete it. And then you see what shows up over on the right-hand side over here is a little microphone. I'm going to click that microphone and say, hey, Curtis. See? Okay, now I got to press and hold. Hang on a second. Hey, Curtis, congratulations on getting that new role. I want to wish you the best in the future and that you do really well with Nike. So now it'll tell me, hey, don't show this in the future for voice messages. I would not advocate that. I would actually, if it wasn't something that you said was good, I would hit cancel and I would record it again. Okay, so that's one option. The other option is the plus button over on the left-hand side. I think you guys can see that. I'm going to go ahead and click that one too. Now I've got some options here, right? I can send photos, which includes videos, by the way. So honestly, hopefully nobody is watching that I did this with. I actually recorded kind of a generic response in video. Say, hey, thank you so much for sending me well wishes on my birthday. I appreciate you and everything that you stand for. Just know that I notice you. Good luck in your future endeavors. Because all these little contributions that you're making are going to actually work for you. So that's what I did. And then I uploaded that to people that I knew but didn't know very well, just to give them kind of a thank you in my own face, I guess you could say. But in this case, I can also click a video here, and you can see, oh, there's the live chat. Hang on. Let me get to the, there we go. You'll be able to see my green screen now, right? So now you see me, and I can actually now communicate in video. All right, so I'm going to do that now. Hey, Curtis, congratulations on the new role. You deserve it, and best of luck in the future with Nike. It's really bright. So now, oh, please, it's going to play on the video. So I'm going to go ahead and send that so that it doesn't. There we go. So now you can see I've just sent him a video to his message box congratulating him on his new role. Okay. So the nice thing about Reflector, this software that I'm using to show you this, is it'll actually broadcast from the phone that thing. So hopefully you didn't hear that. Okay. Now here's something that's interesting that LinkedIn just initiated, and that is I can now send notifications to myself through this app that are separate from the iPhone device. And I'll say no thanks. I keep tabs on my messages, so that's something, I don't know if even Curtis is watching this, but but you get the idea. And then so here's a happy birthday. I can wish this person a happy birthday. I'd go look at their profile first and go that direction. But there's a lot of things you can do this same way. where you can actually make a difference for this person just by recognizing them. So let's see. Yeah, there was John. I want to see something really quick. You guys, I appreciate you bearing with me and allowing me to experiment here. I didn't want to do that. Comment. Did that let me comment? What was that? Okay, now let me take a picture. No, it let me post a picture. Okay. Anyways, sorry about that. I was just doing some experimentation on our time. But so there we go. Anyway, so I thought you guys would enjoy that. That's something I just wanted to share so that you could see how that works. So anyway, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those questions anytime at all that you like. I'm happy to answer. So go ahead and put those in the chat. I'd be happy to do whatever I can to help you out. Chat's over here, whether you're on LinkedIn or what have you. I don't know how to turn that off. Maybe I'll just close this. Yes, I want to close. Okay, good. Hey, folks. Welcome. FAQ. Hey, happy Friday, by the way. Let's see. Is there any very fine and legible? Good. Yes, you can see it. Excellent. Awesome. So let me know what questions you have. I'm happy to answer. I know we've been here, about 20 minutes. There's a lot of great content on our podcast. I'd highly recommend you go check that out. You can always send me a connection request if we're not connected yet. I do offer initial free consultations for anyone that's interested. 15-minute session is completely free. You can schedule that on my profile page. Super easy to do that. If you put any, and I'm here, by the way, I'm here every Friday. Now, last Friday I was traveling, so I actually pre-recorded the session. So, that'll happen occasionally where I have a pre-recorded session, but I will be here and I will answer the questions from that session after the fact. Just make sure you use the hashtag career happy hour. And I think you see that on the screen over on the side here, but, good. Any other questions out there before we go and have a great weekend? You guys had a chance to meet my dog, right? You heard her in the background. And my kids just got home from school, so good timing. We all have, a 365 life, and I don't think we should ignore the fact that, sometimes we are in positions where we need to produce, and the situation isn't ideal. So I'm here to produce. Hey, general question from Jermaine. Thank you. Does hiring really slow down during the holiday season? No, it does not. I've actually worked with coaching clients that got offers on Thanksgiving. Okay. So it's not something that ever slows down. Here's something. And so this is a mindset thing. That people come up with. Oh, nothing happens during the holidays. Well, the reality is I don't want to look for work during the holidays. Let's just be honest. So if you want to find work, you can find it. Now, here's the thing. I think that every company is hiring. If we assume every company is hiring, then we never stop looking, especially if we're out of work. If we're looking for promotions, right, or we're in a job and we want to get something better, this is a great time to start networking. Because traditionally speaking, not always, but traditionally speaking, people are in a better mood. They have more margin in their calendars. They're taking time off. This is a great time to connect with people on a personal level, maybe even volunteer. I encourage everybody, hey, it's the holidays, great. But that doesn't mean you can't go volunteer somewhere and also network at the same time. Meet new people. That's the name of the game. Meet new people. Doesn't really matter, so what was it? A few years back, we actually did a challenge, and we challenged everybody to actually ring the bell for Salvation Army. Now, I don't know if you've seen those people, but it's freezing cold outside, and they're out there ringing a bell, okay? Some of those people are actually paid to do that, and they need to get a break from the cold because they've been standing out there for hours. And so I had no problem at all standing out there for hour and a half, 2 hours to give somebody else a break. Now, was that a good networking experience? No. But that did more for me than it did for the other person, quite honestly. Even though I gave them a break, I felt good about it. And you can't buy that with money. So does hiring really slow down? I don't think so. But it's also a good time for companies that have a fiscal year that starts January. When do you think they're making strategic plans for 2020? When do you think that happens? Budgets, requisitions, potential openings, all those things are developed now so that when they hit January, they hit the ground running. They may be even, it's much like I'm into football, college football mostly, and I can't imagine an athletic director who doesn't have a list of 5 or 10 football coaches continually on a list that he's incubating, recognizing that his coach may either leave or he might fire that person. Okay? So I don't think so what can we learn from that? Always be networking. Always have a list of people that you're interacting with so that you're on their short list. Okay? Yes, of course. You're welcome. Yes, thank you. Thank you for asking. I mean, it takes a lot of courage to come here. I mean, there's a bunch of people on the stream and to put it out there and say, I have a question, I have a concern, I need some help. And that's okay. That's why I'm here. Free career coaching every Friday, 3 p.m. Pacific time. So it's happy hour somewhere. It's happy hour here, that's for sure. And actually, after this stream, I do have, interestingly enough, a network meeting. Look at that. So even me, the guy who's advocating networking, is networking. And it's with somebody brand new that I've never met before. So, don't just think you're always continually meeting with the people you know. That is valuable. I have a group of people that I meet regularly that way too. Have both. Always be adding people to your list because you never know. And, this might be a window into maybe another topic for next week, but things are always changing. Always changing. That means that even though you may not have gotten that project management job now, doesn't mean they're not an opportunity tomorrow. So today is a no. Tomorrow doesn't mean it's also a no. And it's not permanent because every day someone gets hired, someone gets fired, someone gets promoted, someone gets transferred. Okay? God forbid they die or have a medical emergency where they can't work anymore. Okay? This happens all the time. Happens every day. It's the natural course of what they call business. And if you can stay in the game long enough and it's a company you want to work badly enough for, keep knocking on the door. If that door doesn't open, go find another door at the same company. It's not the only door into that place. Okay? Keep knocking. Keep knocking on the door. Okay? Excellent. Thank you, everybody, for joining today. Have a great weekend. I know I will. And as always, I'm here to support your success, whatever it takes. Hope you're well. Have a great weekend. And we'll see you next FAQ Friday, Career Happy Hour. Take care.